What is happening, y'all? Cowboy here, and welcome back to the final part of the walkthrough. So something I've said since the beginning is that Nioh really begins when you get into New Game Plus, and so that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in this episode. Now, right before we jump into that, I do want to jump on over into the trophies and discuss the things that still need to be done to get the platinum, as that was one of the goals of this walkthrough. So a lot of this stuff is just going to be completed already. You know, all of these are story-based trophies. You'll have all those knocked out. As for the masters, these are going to involve doing those dojo missions and then unlocking the mystic art. You just got to play with every single weapon, which is going to be part of New Game Plus, trying out new things. In a similar fashion, Ninjutsu and Omyo, those are also going to come along. As for Burst Breaker, this is just using your counters 5 times. You can actually just do this right in the dojo, fighting against that initial Yoki, change up your thing, try out a different type of counter until you have 5 of each. Boom, that's done. This you should have done by now. This. As for tea utensils, you're going to get these just playing New Game Plus. Just appraise them every now and then, it'll pop up. As for calligraphy scroll, you can buy this in the hidden tea house. They cost, I think it's 1,000 glory, but just go there, pick one up, put it in your room. Kodama Bazaar, you could have done that by now. Teamwork, obviously, you're just going to need to do 10 co-op adventures. Help wanted, summoning up those graves, nice easy one. Hot springs, those are done. All types of yokai you should be done. Kodama you should have done. Guardian Spirit, we're missing the one at this point, and that is from the dual sword mission. You get the Spider Guardian Spirit doing that. This should be done, this should be done. This is just trading soul cores to a Sudama until you get the Kodama soul core. All sword cores, we're going to be touching on that in a moment to talk about the rare ones that more than likely are missing. Using, you can get done 10 items. We've done that a couple times in the walkthrough, but I'll show it again after we're done this. This should be done. Give your 30 poops to Ryunojo once you have them. Done. This one we're actually going to take care of right now, but you can always go back and do this on New Game to knock it out very, very easily. We're actually going to be speed running through this in this episode, so I'll show you how. Should have this done, and that done. So, having covered all that, first let's talk about finding things on the map. Now, basically, as you just wiggle your thing around the map, occasionally you'll get a couple red things that pop up. Now, we saw quite a few of them in the last episode over when I was in the dream region. We had one that was like over here. We have one that was down here. And these things are, they're set spots. I don't know if anyone's actually recorded where every single one of them is, but the basic gist is you just got to move the cursor around to find them, and then once you find them all, you're all set. But anyway, let's talk about New Game Plus. Let's jump on into it. So right up here, you can just hit square to change it. Now, right now, we only have access to Dream of the Samurai and Dream of the Strong. There are 3 more difficulties coming, most likely. If we follow the same nomenclature as the previous game, we'll end up with Dream of the Demon, Dream of the Wise, and then Dream of the Nioh. Each additional difficulty adds more in terms of like loot and typically newest fixes for gear and stuff like that. Usually each one also coincides with a DLC. So with the first DLC, they should add Dream of the Demon and etc. Now, as for what to do in New Game Plus, we're going to be looking at min-maxing our gear. We're going to be looking at optimizing the build, going through missions, whatnot. And one of the first things I want to point out is as you look at the missions, you'll notice we have a lot of divine stuff as rewards now. Now, you can get divine stuff to still drop in New Game, but it's better to jump straight into New Game Plus because you're going to be getting rewards from the missions. And on top of that, the gear is just going to be higher level. You'll be getting more Amrita, all that stuff. In addition, all of the main missions in New Game Plus will give you a Fabled Umbracite the first time you do it. Now, going to the Blacksmith to talk about Fabled Umbracite, when it comes to tempering, we have a couple different things. We have Umbracite, which is your basic stuff, and you have plenty of it, and you can get this from breaking down your armor. For those that are still real late to the party here, as you break down your armor, make sure you go to Forge, Tools, and then over here, make all that Umbracite. Now, then we have Quality Umbracite. Quality Umbracite you can get from, well, I'm referring to quality over on the right hand here, but you can get Quality Umbracite doing your daily Twilight missions, and you can get Quality Umbracite occasionally from co-op. It takes 3 of those to make a Fabled, and it takes 3 Fabled to make a Divine. Now, right now, I don't have a Fabled or Divine, but when it goes to, when it comes to tempering, that's where you're going to see your really good stuff. You might see something good in Quality, but in Fabled, that's where you're going to start seeing stuff like change to attack A for, attack based on skill, attack based on stamina. Those big bonuses you see that I have on all of the different build videos, that's where you get that. Now, Divine Umbracite, the only way to get that right now is to combine 3 Fabled. So if we're going by the dailies, it would take roughly 4 days to create 1. What I mean by that is we would do this quest for quality, we would do this quest for quality, which I can't right now because I don't have it unlocked. And then after that's done, I would switch back to new game difficulty, and I would bang out those quests again for another quality and another quality. So you can do your Twilight mission, you can do both Twilight missions each day on each difficulty. So when we have all 5 Twilight missions out, that is 10 quality Umbracite you could earn per day. Now, that's just based on what we have right now. More than likely, a Twilight mission on Dream of the Demon will likely just reward Fabled Umbracite, but this is all speculation as we don't know for sure at the moment because that's not out. So anyway, let's talk about how to approach doing the missions in New Game Plus. Now, the first thing I want to do is actually hop over to the Soaring region, and we are going to go over to Mysterious One Night Castle. Now, there are a couple of different missions that I would suggest doing. Mysterious One Night Castle is one of the biggest and best. Brothers Blades, the submission where you can fight Magatsu over again, that is another really popular one. But what we're doing here is we're looking for a mission where there's going to be Revenants. Now, right now, there only happens to be one, so we're just going to summon this guy on up and kill him. And once you get into New Game, one of the best ways to start getting your gear, start getting in all that divine gear, is not knocking the Revenants into the lake. That is a terrible way to lose them. But basically, you want to kill as many Revenants as possible, because most Revenants are going to be decked out in gear. So anytime you see somebody that has the gear, I can see everyone and their mother is using Kato. I think I may have made things a little bit overly popular running that in the original Let's Play series, but beyond the point, you want to kill all of these. You know, even if you summon somebody up and it's Kato, and I am a beefy build, right? So it doesn't matter to me that it's Kato. I'm not going to be using it, but I can still break that down, which is what we want to do to kill this guy. So we're going to lure him on over here real fast. All right, now I got a couple pieces. Now, if I was going to play as a ninja, that's great. I got some stuff that I want, but I'm not playing as a ninja, so we're going to kill a couple more. Here we go. This guy has some dual swords. Looks like he's wearing beefy boy gear. I like that. I like that beefy stuff. Come here. Hit you with this. And as you're seeing, it might take a little bit to kill some of these initial Revenants, because they're in Divine Gear, and you're still in New Game Basic Gear. There we go, we got a rifle. We'll grab that. That looks good. Alright, and that's all I wanted to do here. So now that we have some of that, we are going to Divine Branch on out. Now, since we have some Divine Gear, now we can begin breaking it down and getting fragments and making Divine Gear, which is ultimately what we really want to do. Now that we've picked up a couple, we're going to go to our Blacksmith. I don't believe I picked up anything that I'd want. Actually, I picked up Raven Wing, so we'll put that on. That's going to be a solid choice because it is a set piece. So once I get my Yasukani, I'll be able to get the 2-piece set bonus easily on that. We'll keep the Demon's Axe on, and then I would probably keep the dual swords as well to level those up. Just checking for the gear. I think all I had dropped was the Kato stuff, so. Alright, we are set there, and nothing here. Okay. So, we're going to go to Disassemble, tab over, select everything, and notice I'm getting some Divine Fragments now. And that's what we want. So now, when I go to Forge, I was to go to armor or weapon, whatever the case is, doesn't matter. Let me say I want Demon Horde, right? When I hit X to make this and I go to Forge, you can see I can now hit triangle and spend Divine Fragments. 1 fragment gives me a 49% chance, 2, 52, all the way up to 10 fragments, which will be a 86% chance. Now, one of the main reasons that you want to do this and you want to make the Divine Gear is going to have familiarity on it. We'll go ahead and forge this just to give an example. but that familiarity will increase all the stats on this gear. So my toughness will go up, my water resistance will go up, projectile, all that stuff is going to get better as the familiarity grows. You'll also notice that it is 160, so it's a higher level than everything else that I have on right now. And so this is essentially your end game loot. It's going to be getting this loot. It's going to be getting geared up in it, getting nice and loaded up in divines. Everything you're going to use is going to be divines. In fact, the only time that I would use something that's not divine in New Game Plus is if it is a Tokichiro Gourd or a Toshi's Abacus, just because I want that accessory to complete a set bonus. Beyond that, I am looking to get divine for everything I can. Now, as for how you should approach missions in New Game Plus, you don't want to go all the way through them. Now, I mean, you could, but we're here to just get a job done. We're here to kill the boss, get the Fabled Umbersite. So you're going to end up running through a lot of the mission. I'm going to go along a pretty standard route here. This is just to get through this mission and get back to Yatsu no Kami. You can see right now that guy, that spear, that kind of tickled, right? Because we're still really early in New Game Plus. Now, late New Game Plus, things are going to ramp up quite a bit. But early on, you shouldn't have any issue just dispatching everything that you fight. You're going to be doing a lot of damage now that you have divine gear. So we are just quite literally just kind of burning through this, because I could sit here and I could kill everything, and you can do that if you want. But for me, New Game Plus is about, I want to get my Fabled Umbersite. I want to start getting my gear. I want to get to a high enough level where it makes sense to be farming the things that I'm trying to farm. In this case, it's going after, well, with an axe build, for example, I would want to be working my way towards those two. I would be aiming to get this same set, which I would get this set farming the dojo mission, but to unlock that dojo mission, I would have to proceed quite a ways into a New Game Plus. So this. As for axe skills, I got most of my axe skills, I believe. Nope. A little bit more key. And we'll just leave the ninja and Omio until I unlock the better stuff. Go through our points real fast, just picking stuff up I don't need. So, like I said, we're just going to get through this mission. That's the whole point here. We just want to get through it, get some Fabled Umbersite, see what we can temper on. Just kind of running on through. And you can kill stuff if you want. You'll notice some changes in New Game Plus. There's probably some enemies you're seeing that you're like, hang on, this guy wasn't there the first time around. There are new enemy placements in New Game Plus as you go through levels. So, you can take your time and kill everything, or you can kind of just speed through it as we are now. In general, my goal is going to be to speed through enough things to get the loot that I really need to kind of get rolling with things. Right now, we still have a lot of pieces of gear that are very outdated. All of our armor actually is kind of like in the 110 range. So right now I am trying to basically just get through this level, get to the end, get a Fabled Umbersite. I can use that to really start pimping out my stuff. And we're going to be aiming to make some better gear. So if I can not die to this guy. Nope, and I'll die. Of course I'll die before I get the door open. But it's New Game Plus. Kind of expected it running past those guys and not killing them. Now, even then, I mean, I took a lot of cannon hits and a lot of damage from that guy, just to kind of set some expectations for how hard it is to go through. And we'll just... this is pretty standard for how this build's been going along. And keep in mind, this is the same exact gear I just beat the game with. The only real change here is I have on that Demon's Axe now. Actually, shit. I lost my attack defense axe when I broke down my Kintaros. That is a pity. Let's pop this. Show you what a cloud enemy is like. So we got this Aberrant over here. He wasn't here on New Game. Actually, I'm not gonna bother with these two. Get around. I'm gonna go pick up my my thing. As long as he's not going to come along. Let's see. Nope, that's a regular one. In general, when it comes to Revenants in New Game Plus, unless I see a majority of the gear being green, I'm not going to bother summoning them. I just don't see a point in farming something that's not loaded up with greens. soul cores you get are going to be higher. Now, as for the level of gear that you're going to be finding, in general, we're going to consider 160 to be the base cap. And what I mean by that is the majority of gear you find is going to be level 160. You can find gear that is level 170. With that in mind, 170 gear is very rare. You can't forge it. It's just going to be something that you randomly discover. So, you know, as you play through, you don't need to be like, oh man, I'm not all 170 yet. Like even my builds, the stuff I upload, I don't have 170 gear on those. You know, a lot of that is put on that, put on that, on the Die Hard. We're just switching up to divine gear, just much better stats. If you find a 170 piece and it fits into your set, that's great. It'll have higher stats than the 160, of course, but don't feel obligated like you have to have 170 gear. That is certainly not the case at all. Once again, one of the best ways to get this stuff, early on at least, is going to be killing those revenants. Now, every time you do a mission for the first time in New Game Plus, you'll always get divines as a reward for it. Kind of as we saw earlier looking, we had access to, I mean, just doing this one, for example, just doing this quest and going through it, we're going to gain access to a couple divine pieces of the Shinto priest set. You might be thinking like, hey, we're not in gear at all. How are we going to fight this boss? And that's where the new core we picked up comes in. As I mentioned at the end of the last video, Otakaamaru is insanely powerful. Without question, one of the most, if not the most powerful core in the game. It does absurd damage, but it's definitely something that is... God, don't kill me, please. It's definitely something that's better against bigger bosses. Trying to fight a humanoid like this guy with it, if I tried to throw out Otakaamaru here, I might get some damage in. I might even kill that guy, but chances are it would probably whiff mostly. Whereas trying to use it on something like Yatsu no Kami or an Naroki or any of those big boys, it's going to do a lot of damage. Also notice, of course, that our Amrita gain is drastically increased. Proficiency gain is increased. Everything comes faster in New Game Plus, which is why we also want to do all of our looting and our farming here. So we're just going to be making a speed run down for the boss. Let's do this. We had that achievement where you have to kill Yatsu no Kami without breaking any of the poison statues, so we're actually knocking that out right now in New Game Plus. And I need to get on over and get that ladder down for good measure. Well, actually, I don't need to get the ladder down. That'd probably be a good idea, too. As for soul cores, one of the big ones you're probably missing is toxic slime. It only really drops from the little umibozos like those that actually create the slime, like the ones you're seeing here. So one of the best things to do, actually, is knock out this dark zone to get that shrine. And then once you have that shrine, you can actually make a loop around this place and kill roughly 4 to 5 slimes in a single loop. It should only take about a minute. And killing those with a little bit of luck in roughly 15 minutes, you should be able to come out above and basically get what you came here for. Oh, come on, snake. So the toxic slimes are they're more of a rare one for whatever reason. Beyond them, another one that is uncommon is getting all the Oni-B heads. There is a fire, a lightning, and a water Oni-B. So you have to make sure that you get all of those. Not what I meant to do. I'm supposed to pull out Otakaamaru there. You can see our damage is really looking good right now. Now I need to actually get my, I need to get enough Amrita to pull off what I'm trying to do here. I pressed the wrong button. Actually, no, never mind. I don't have Otakaamaru even on. That's fine. We can just kill this thing the old-fashioned way. if I'm going to pull this off, I'm going to need to put this down. Might die here. That's fine. So the whole point of this was I wanted to show off Otakumaru, but it looks like I didn't save him from the last time. So that's fine. We can sprint back down here with him just to show what he does and load this place up. Which actually I will need to recall back. Got into that fight throughout Kasha and was like, that is not who I wanted. You, and there we go. That's who I want. And he is on triangle. There we go. So that's what I'm talking about. Axe guy, all greens. Just make sure you're careful about knocking them off a ledge, because since we're trying to hunt these things down, we want to kill as many of them possible while they're still standing. And for the invincible armor sloth, it's typically a dangerous one, except for just makes you very vulnerable here. What the hell? I can heal too, buddy. Ah, Gozu Tenu's axe. That looks good. And it's a 160. Look at that. Already we're getting better and better by the minute. Brand new axe. The Master Archer's bow. That's actually a set bow. Some item drop right on it. We'll pick that up. Good. You guys are being kind of a pain in the ass right now. And typically I wouldn't do it exactly like this, but I am in the process of trying to kill that thing to get the trophy, so that's why we're taking this approach where we're just running through and speeding down. But here, now that we have a Otakumaru on, this fight will basically be over in like 30 seconds. That is the power of Otakumaru. And that is a 160. Brand new Yatsuno Kami core to blow stuff up with. The thing is, this isn't even a maxed out Otakumaru. We could run him with, you know, enhanced, like things that will basically enhance how much damage Phantom Soul Cores do and make him incredibly potent at just nuking things. You know, there's you know, Soul Cores that have that stuff, like 15% increase Yokai ability, all that stuff, that'll make him even stronger. And especially early on, having access to that will allow us to really just kind of blitz through some content. A good example here is going to be if I go to Shrine. So right now we have Kagewane on, which gives us 5% Phantom and then some life drain. If I switch this up to, where is he at? Akataku. That's going to give me 5%, and I don't have the investment for it, but if I had the investment in either Magic or Heart here, I'd pick up an extra 10% on Phantom to make that even stronger. And that's basically going to be the gist. So, you know, doing something like Village of Cursed Blossoms. Well, actually, real fast, we got our Fabled Umber Sight, so let's show you what we're talking about here. The min-max. So if I go to Temper, let's say I'm working with this Gozu Teno's axe. I can see I can get some poison on there with quality Umber Sight. I got life drain gapple, melee attack key consumption, life drain low attack. I could imbue water onto it. Now I want this to have max asphyxes. Now this doesn't have a inheritable on it right now, which is good. So I could take this, the damage bonus familiarity, and move it over. But that'll actually conflict with one of the things I want. So instead, here's what we're going to do. We're going to look through these. Grapple damage. You know what? Grapple damage is fine. We can move that on over. Let's use that. I don't think I have anything else worth using. Active skill key damage, 9.5%. That's actually a really solid pick. Do you have active skill key damage right now? You do not. So, here's what we're going to do. We are going to scroll down to whetstones. 7 of those to max that out. And then we're going to put our axe on there. And then we're going to go to soul match weapon. Take our axe and take that. And as you can see, the active skill key damage is going to move on over onto our axe, giving us an extra fix. Now, on top of that, we can actually get even more on this, but what we need to do is find a weapon that has a orange inheritable icon. An orange inheritable indicates that it will move a stat over, and it'll move a stat over permanently. So when it moves that stat is just on the weapon, and that is how you get your weapon up to where it has 7 asphyxes. Alternatively, if this started off with a inheritable, something like none of these had inheritables on them, but sometimes the inheritable is the 5th stat on the weapon. If that's the case, you're just going to need 2 oranges. But so now that I have that on, we're going to go to temper and we're going to really pimp out this axe, make it useful. So there's nothing I want right now in the lineup. You know, I could go lightning, which is a safe bet, but 8 is a low end roll for that. I don't want to waste it on a light roll. So I'm going to just hit this. I'm going to pick whatever. It doesn't matter. We'll take red earned. And it's re-rolled all of my odds. So I can see paralysis, fire, life drain, final blow, poison, and paralysis, both at 12. 12 is a high-end roll. I'm not worried about that. I am looking for something like that. Attack bonus stamina. Now, that's only C. I'm not going to be satisfied with C. So instead, we're just going to keep cycling through. And every time I change one stat, all of the other stats are going to cycle. Right now, we are mainly trying to find a damage bonus stat. In particular, one of those purple damage bonus stats. Life drain on melee attack is nice, and that doesn't conflict with our other stuff, but that's not what we want. Drain melee attack. Attack bonus heart, still C. And it could also be showing up in the divine category, which we can't see because we don't have any divine umbersight. But even then, a lot of the times, if you just keep cycling, it will show up under fabled umbersight, and in some cases, even under quality umbersight. So, best to just keep on cycling through until you find what you need. Now, keep in mind that there are things that will conflict. For example, let me find one. Okay, here we go. High attack damage. I didn't realize it. High attack damage is actually going to be a conflicting stat. Similarly with low high attack damage or mad spinner damage or earth carver damage, you can only have one damage oriented stat on your weapon. So instead, if I change this to break, now there we go. I have attack bonus, strength, and magic, and I should start seeing a lot more attack bonus. I don't have enough strength or magic to justify that, so we'll go through that. Let's see. Nope, mid-active skill damage, that would conflict. So we're going to go rage duration. Magic. Look at that. An attack bonus strength with a regular umbersight. Regular umbersight for attack bonus strength. It's attack bonus courage. There's attack bonus skill, dex, courage. Skill again. Courage again. And we're just trying to roll this until we have Stamina A show up. Either Stamina A or Courage A. I want it to be one of my primary stats. There we go. Attack bonus, Stamina A. And this is going to be the biggest possible damage boost I can get on the axe out of the associated choices. So now that I've done that, I want to look at what else I want to get on this weapon. Ideally, I probably want to get an element of some sort on there. A life drain active skill is really good. So knowing that I can get life drain active skill, I'm not going to pick that up just yet. I need another fabled Umbrasight, and so we're going to burn through that real fast. And actually, noticing we're at 30 minutes, we're going to wrap this one up here. I think I will do one more episode of New Game Plus content, kind of showing all the way about getting a weapon pimped on out. Actually, you know what? Screw it. No, we won't. We're just going to keep this as one long episode, kind of explaining the New Game Plus grind. So, Village of Cursed Blossoms. At the start there, as you may have seen, I can spend Ochako Cups to increase the drop rate of Divines in the mission. It is very low returns, like 10 cups for 10% or something. So in general, I would only recommend you do that if you're planning on really going through a mission, just, tearing stuff up. So we have a bunch of Revenants here, which is great. So what we're going to do, we're going to summon this guy up so we have a friend. And we're just going to murder a bunch of Revenants. The thing is, even if they don't have gear that I want, it's not what you're supposed to do, man, Dooley. Even if they don't have gear that I want, I can break down this gear and get divine fragments, and with that, I can make gear that I do want. So it's always worthwhile slaughtering as many Revenants as you can find. There we go, some Yoroki gauntlets. That's nice. Goes on. Do we have Shinto Priest? I don't want. Crawler's Greaves, I'll put those on. Alright, the rest of this is good for now. And I'm not going to kill every single Revenant I find, but at least at the start, when I'm really trying to get geared up, I want to kill a couple of them and really get access to this loot. Get all that loot that they have. Now, in particular, if you really want to ramp the speed up, what you can do is just join someone's friends list. If you find a Revenant for someone that's on your friends list, they will have a... Man, this Revenant is not good luck for me. A Revenant that's on your friends list will have a glow around the corpse. It'll basically be like a gold glow around the sword that you select. And with those, it's a very, very high chance of getting the items. Now, when it comes to Revenants in particular, nothing affects their drop rate with the exception of somebody that's on the friend list. What I mean by this is you can't load up item drop or equipment drop and get more out of Revenants. It doesn't work that way. The only thing that's going to increase how much items those Revenants are shitting out is whether they're on your friends list or not. So anyway, we're going to be going through this level real fast. And stop that. We just got to build up our meter here, and then we can probably just drop an Otakumaru out and kill him. Put this down so I get enough to do my thing. Notice not everything is going to be divine all the time, but that's fine. We're still just going to break down everything we get anyway. You'll notice I'm not gonna really bother going too in depth here. I am just killing that guy, and then we're quite literally just going to like speedrun through this. And that's part of the New Game Plus experience. In a similar fashion, I know I covered this way back when, but this is also exactly how I'd suggest doing the Twilight missions. Twilight missions are actually a great way to really load up on Amrita, but because they're dailies, nobody wants to spend 4 hours a day playing a game. I want to bang out all 4 of those missions in 30 minutes to an hour. And to do that, we're just going to haul ass, just like we are right now. Right now, we're hauling ass to get some better loot. Just get to the end and get the fabled Umbrasight. But, if you're playing it with friends, you could be going through. In fact, I think doing New Game Plus with friends is actually a lot of fun. So here's a small change. In New Game Plus, this isn't typically a dark realm. Instead, we now need to fight our way into here. You can see there's a Tesso now and a bunch of Gakis, so they've changed things up a little bit on us. Couple things that I'll have to kill here. Ooh, boy. wasn't even the host, just an angry fart rat. This is the host. Yeah, so we'll kill this. Or not kill this, get this. And now we're going to rest here. And then we'll go in and kill this guy. And that gives us a second Fabled Herbicide. That's what we're really after here. We're just trying to get through these missions to get access to that Fabled Umbricite so that we can really pimp out our weapon. Now, obviously, one thing to keep in mind is you shouldn't just do this with the first weapon you find. The weapon I'm working with now is a 160. It is part of a set that is almost always worked into various axe builds because of the fact that it's going to increase rage. So it's a very solid choice for me to level up. I can level this up and it would be, leveling up a Gozu Tenno's axe is certainly good if you're playing an axe build. You can't go wrong with that. If you're playing an Odachi build or a Tonfa build or whatever the case is, I'd suggest waiting until you have a weapon that really kind of fits in with the build you're going for before you start blowing through all this stuff. Because keep in mind, the first time we beat it, we get the Fabled Umbricite. Every time after that, if you want more Fabled or you want Divine, you're going to be having to do those dailies to gather up your quality to combine it from there. Right now, there is no recipe in the game that you can use to just combine Umbricite into quality Umbricite. You can only get it from doing those Twilight missions. But knocking it on their main mission will, of course, give us another Fabled Umbricite. So with that, we're going to hop back to the Blacksmith. Now, this is a build that I'm doing a lot of spin to win stuff on. So because of that, earlier we saw that I could pick up, where was it at? Life Drain on active skill. That's really nice because I do a lot of active skill damage with my spin to win. Looking through alternatives, I see Imbue Fire, but in general, I want to have some type of Life Drain on, and I'm very skill focused, so we're going to go ahead and pick that up. So now I got Life Drain active skill, I got my attack bonus based on stamina. Beyond that, let's see what else we could get. I have active skill key damage. I would like to get a element on here, and then maybe something else. We'll pick up guard key consumption for now, and then I'll probably re-roll this one until I get something I want. So grapple damage is actually a pretty good choice. I really want an element, so I'm just going to keep cycling this until I see an element that has a high roll. Also consider this category. Now these two, you can't just lock them, there's no button you can do, but we're considering these locked. I want to keep that, I want to keep that. This and this, I'm up for changing. So we're going to keep kind of cycling through paralysis, and how paralysis is at 12, that's a max roll. I don't want to take anything that's not 12. Active skill break, that's really nice. If anybody blocks my skills, that can go through them. So let's keep that on, and then let's focus on this stat. So there's poison. Poison is a very safe bet. You can roll bonus poison damage on accessories, so that's actually not a bad choice at all. So let's consider that locked in. We'll consider that what we're going to go for. And we'll need to knock out one more mission to do that. So we could do Beastborn of Smoke and Flames. We already did Village. I want to get some Fabled. Let's take a look what was in Soaring that's fast. Let's see what's fast. Mysterious One Night Castle is pretty fast. Hidden Monsters is not fast. Hollow Fortress is definitely not fast. Alright, so we're going to do Awakening. And we'll just burn through the Beastborn of Smoke and Flames real fast. We'll grab the Umbricite there. And then we'll pick up our plus 12 poison damage. Now, a lot of the stuff, you might be able to find these stats that we're rolling. You can find this stuff as inheritables as well. Find people who are trading on the Nioh Discord or the Nioh subreddit and pick up inheritables. Like I know on my main character, I have a stack of inheritables that are A- for stamina, A- for strength, A- for skill. Pretty much anything under the sun that I could want, I have an inheritable for it. I have a bunch of inheritables saved up that are 12 poison inheritables. So this stuff does exist out there, and what typically happens is one person finds a piece of loot that's like, an inheritable 12 poison, and they're like, yo, inheritable poison right here. And then what they're going to do is they're going to drop that Revenant, and 30 people are going to kill that Revenant and get that 12 inheritable poison. And they're going to do it a couple times so that they have one to use and they have one for a backup. And then the next time somebody's like, hey, we're looking for poison, you got 12 new people that are like, oh, we got poison. And those 12 people share it with 12 more people. And it's, basically there ends up being like a compendium of just tons and tons of these poison swords around that you can get access to as long as you talk with other people in the community. Oh, you cheeky shit. I heard him too. Should have just run in and killed the Namaha guy. Now, right now, we are very much just running ragtag. We're just putting on whatever gear we can that seems like it's going to work for us, which is not the best, but it's better than running around in purples and whatnot. Now that we're in New Game Plus, though, one of the big things I should do is I want to take a gear set, doesn't matter what, could be all your Roki gear. I want to max it all out and get item drop rate. I want item drop rate on as many pieces of my gear as possible. I want to put it on every piece. And you're probably going to use quality umbracite to get it in some cases. But you can keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling. Just kind of how I've been cycling through my weapon. You want to keep rolling like that until you see it show up. And that's just, it's essentially we're cycling the choices to get to what we don't want. And by doing that, once we have a set that's all item drop rate, and our item drop rate is nice and high up, that's when we want to go and start farming something. That's when, even if it's on new game, that's when I would go back and I'd farm the guy who has access to the set. Because I can go and I can kill that guy over and over again until he drops his smithing text, and I'll have a way better chance of getting him to drop it because I'm fighting him and I'm properly geared with lots and lots of drop rate. Talk about living dangerously. Getting real close there. We got a medicine case. Let's put that on. So divine, as you can see, we have one extra stat. So want to get divine accessories as soon as possible. See something that's smaller, it still works, but it took a little bit of time before it killed him there. I get this last fabled umbracite, and I will be pretty much all set to start really, really tearing through New Game Plus. And that's kind of exactly what I wanted to show with these episodes is, it doesn't take a lot to get rolling, where we're just speeding through and knocking out some main missions, getting high quality umbracite. We got a weapon off of a Revenant. Pretty easy to get weapons off Revenants. And it doesn't need to be something perfect. Like if you're making a Tonfa build, it doesn't have to be Sarutobi gun sticks. You can roll Tonfa gun on other gun sticks. But you wanna get something that's at least powerful enough to where you can say, hey, you know what? I think this will work well in my build. That's what we're looking for. In my case, a Gozu Tenno's axe was good. Even if I didn't have that, I would have been fine using the Demon's Axe. Demon's Axe has, so I'm gonna go get the shrine real fast. But I would have been fine with Demon's Axe. I would have been fine with a Kintaro axe. I would have been fine with any axe that had some type of element on it even. Here we go. And we've made it up to the end of the mission. Over to where we can fight Whirlwind Tornado Boy. Keep in mind we have Takamaru, so we can nuke him. To help make sure we have that nuke ready, we're going to pop a Lantern Plant Fruit. In fact, we'll set this up as a shortcut just to really make sure this fight is nice and easy, since he is a little bit more of a challenge than most of the other things we fought so far. And we want to make sure that he is not moving. Now we're good. Now I just want to wait for him to do that. Of course, he did it right when I'm over here just messing around. No! God damn it, wrong button. Whatever. Let's pop this. Let's just end this. Put out Takamaru. I get tornadoed as I cast it. This axe should be more than strong enough to kill you right here. Probably went a little overzealous with the Takamaru spam, but it's good. What can I say? I wanna use it. It's good. I want to use it. But so anyway, that's the first 3 missions knocked out. Just kind of sprinted to the end, getting tons of Amrita, kill a little Revenant here or there, get all their divines, and just between the guaranteed rewards, like the regular rewards we get from those, in combination with the Umbrasite we can get, we have already pretty much set ourselves up to start just progressing through New Game Plus at a comfortable rate. So like right there, look at that. That was a guaranteed reward from that. If I didn't get the Gozen Tenno's axe, I would have had access to a level 160 Ippon Datara's hammer. This has melee drain on life kill already, comes with the corruption, melee damage for scorched enemies. Would have been an awesome weapon to have. So, you know, you don't have to have great luck and get a particular set item. You know, you can get by perfectly fine with something that's not a set item. So anyway, back to the Blacksmith here though. And we are going to temper again. I go over here. Earlier we had the Imbue Poison 12. So we're going to pick that up. And boom. To me, this weapon is set. I have life drain on active skill. I have active skill break, meaning if something's trying to block, I'm going to obliterate it. I have attack bonus based on stamina. I have high poison on it. I have active skill key damage, and I need one other thing to put on it. And then once you play with this a little bit more, of course, and it gets nice and maxed out. Actually, the one thing I don't have on this is I don't have it remodeled yet. So let's just scroll through here. We're going to sort by plus value. Go up top. I don't have any plus weapons. What I can do is I can try and forge one. Let's see. Increase the lower limit and the upper limit. So get them both up to 4 out of 5. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to forge a weapon, and we're just going to take one of the cheapest ones. Nioh here. And I only have 5 divine fragments. I wonder why. I wonder if it's because this is a basic weapon. Let me see. No, I only have 5 left. All right, so we're just going to take singles. We're going to take small chances here and see if we can get one that is... see if we can get a Mino Uchi +1. Not having good luck yet. Alright. So no luck making one, and that's fine. You know, you're gonna, as you get higher into New Game Plus, you'll find them. But the only other thing that I would want to do on this is add a +1 to it so that I could remodel it to be a scaling off of stamina. But beyond that, if we were to max it on out, you know, and obviously I would do this from playing with it, I wouldn't just pop a whetstone, or whetstone, excuse me. But yeah, so once it is all maxed out, we're going to have 27 life drain on active skill, almost 17% active skill break, A+ stamina, 14 poison, and then 12.5 active skill key damage. So already I have an axe that is ready to absolutely obliterate. And from here, the only things I'd want to do to make this even stronger would be to inherit a orange stat over, and with that orange stat, I would probably do poison buildup, and then beyond that, just adding into the plus system. So get it up to +1, +2, +3, and all I would do to do that is I would just take this, I would soul match it, would go here, I would take my axe, and then I would select any divine weapon that has that +1 that we saw earlier, and I'd be able to upgrade that. One of the last things I would do here, since I got poison on the axe, which poison's a really safe bet for almost any build, we'd go over to our brand new, where the hell are they at? Let me sort this out by weight. They're all way about the same. There we go. There's that new medicine case, and there we go. 25% melee damage for his poisoned enemy. We picked that up, and 12.9 poison accumulation. And let's just add key for now, and familiarity bonus instead. I want to see if I can get proficiency bonus to pop up. Treasure sensor, rid of earned. Soul core drop. There we go. Luck's good. Luck on there. Leave that. That's good for farming. And then, oh, and I'm out of money. But so already I have a weapon that's pimped out with poison. This is going to make the poison build up higher on the enemy. This just gives me an extra 25% damage once that poison goes on the enemy. And we have spent literally 51 minutes and 52 seconds in New Game Plus. And already I have this monster axe that's going to absolutely tear through everything. So either way, that is going to wrap things up. Like I said, from here, the whole thing is just going through, doing these missions, getting the Umbra Sight, doing your daily missions, and then just kind of working towards builds. You know, there are lists for where you can get every single smithing text in the game. On the subreddit, there's a couple different posts people have made that have full lists that are like Google Docs that you can save as shortcuts to find out where to get stuff that you're looking for. Beyond that, you know, you want to get those smithing texts, get the armor set you want, try out some different things. One big thing I'd recommend is if you're planning on trying a build, and by trying I mean you have the smithing text and you want to craft it all up, I would suggest backing up your save before you do that, just so if you craft it all up and you don't like it, you can just revert the save and get all your materials back. But beyond that, you know, that's New Game Plus. This is where the game gets good. This is where you can, you know, instead of just using whatever axe comes along that seems like it'll get the job done, this is where you make your badass axe that's going to give me a shit ton of health as I'm spinning to winning, and has extra break to shatter through blockers, and extra key damage to shatter through Yokai, and the ability to poison stuff, and the stand attack bonus. And this is where Nioh hits its peak, baby. So anyway, we are going to wrap things up. This has been a hell of a walkthrough series. In fact, it is the longest running 100% walkthrough I have ever done, excluding games that have DLC. And once DLC is added for this, I'm sure it will take the #1 overall spot. So it was definitely a fun journey getting through all this. Obviously, for those that still want more resources, I have all of the builds and the guides and whatnot in a separate playlist. Check those out. Tons and tons of information there. But we're going to wrap this one on up. So looking forward to lots of Final Fantasy VII Remake content that'll be getting started in full swing tomorrow. And besides that, we're not going to be done with Nioh. We're still going to be working on different builds and a couple guides here and there. But as of now, at least the walkthrough is done. So appreciate all of you coming along on this journey with me. Hopefully, we're all much more competent players than you were at the start of this. So appreciate all the support, all you guys sticking with me through it. Now get out there, gear up, and kill some demons. See you all next time.